That's your cue.
I got nothing.
I'm just telling you.
I'm Jake Schriner.
I'm Tracey White.
That was off the record. All right. Well, hey, I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie, and I do have not much, but this is the Compass Conversation Podcast. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Boom.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus.
All right.
Oh, we meet somewhere.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. It's been a great year. Okay. The year is now over.
Oh.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us again. It's been several weeks. We're kind of out of the rhythm, out of the flow of this thing. We're missing Pastor Bob tonight. He's with his lovely wife, Joy, who's having some health issues. But we're going to get ready to get started. To my right.
I'm Jake Schriner.
Jake Schriner. How are you doing, Jake?
I'm good. I feel like so much has happened since the last time we met here, almost a month ago now.
Yes.
Yeah, busiest part of the year, and we don't ever get to sit down and talk about it.
Yeah,
we're all
it's
so busy. But
Right.
I've had today was a story in itself, so I'm just going to stick with today.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, couldn't get to sleep last night. Didn't fall asleep till after midnight. Had to be up by 6 to get Harper going, get her to school. The drive this morning, thanks to the weather, took me an hour and a half. So showed up a half hour late to work, which already puts me in such a fantastic mood. Anyway, like there's no one there to scold me because
you're the guy.
I'm the guy. Yeah, there's not really anybody above me by the time I get to work. But walked in really frustrated. Had 4 interviews set up for today to get some new yard guys out there. Only 2 of them showed, which is kind of a nuisance, but also turned out to be a little bit of a blessing because after I got there, we got informed that our delivery driver was kicked off of our commercial insurance. So that's a big problem to solve because you can't really be a driver if you can't be on insurance for the company. Yep. So now we have to jump through all these loopholes and everything. The insurance company sent us like an affidavit to sign saying that we acknowledge he's not allowed to touch our trucks.
Wow.
Because his record last year, he had some issues, and so now renewing the insurance for this year, they're like, hey, by the way. Yeah, so, and then we had our new inventory system start today that my coworker has been working on for the last year, getting everything ready, getting all the training done on her end, getting it all prepped. The system was sort of customized to fit our needs at our steel company. Other steel companies use the same software, but they have it sort of molded to their needs and everything. And so, this has been a year-long thing in the making, and turns out it is having all sorts of issues right away on day one. It can't even do proper rounding with numbers. My adding machine on my desk can calculate the proper sales tax, but this $40,000 software can't seem to do it properly. So we had that to deal with.
You get an abacus.
Might go
$40,000 software.
Yeah, and for a small company like us, that's a big chunk of change. That's a huge portion of our our costs and everything. So so I spent the afternoon banging my head against the wall trying to figure out some issues with purchase orders and all this different stuff. Not to bore you guys too much with that, but one portion of it, I did a purchase order, and then it's supposed to just copy and paste that PO over to the ledger. And I went to go print the ledger to verify everything, and it's off by 2 cents.
No!
I have no idea why, because it should just be a copy and paste thing. We have
maybe it's time for you to put in your 2 cents.
Maybe. I'm going to tomorrow.
Thank you. We meet somewhere in the world every week.
We have a.
Is it set to the metric system?
No, it's a major issue, and it's really frustrating. So we're running into all these problems right away on day one, so we can't even hit the ground running because every time we feel like we're making progress, it's just. Everything comes to a complete stop. And so, we have an ever-growing list of issues that we now have to take up with them and, tell them hey, this isn't working right and this isn't working right. And you guys were supposed to have this fixed a year ago and it's still not. And and our old software, we can't even revert to that because as of 2024, all IT support and help for that is discontinued. So unless we know how to do all of it in house, which we know how to do most of it, but like some problems we can't. Yeah, so we have to use this new system, and it's not starting off great. So
Wow.
So that's kind of how.
Fun times.
My day went today.
Kind of hearing that, feeling that a little bit.
Yeah.
From you there.
Had a great holiday season, but right now my day today is good. So I'm very glad I'm here because this is always the highlight of my Monday.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
especially this Monday.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's
okay.
so maddening. But and then you had the adventure of being out in the snow.
This morning.
The ice.
People with the improper vehicles to be out in this weather, not good tires, only rear-wheel drive cars or front-wheel drive cars that can't make it up a very small incline. Yeah. When a drive is supposed to take you 40 minutes and it takes you an extra hour on top of that.
Yeah.
Super frustrating too. So
I've even noticed that even in the summertime, people drive like this.
it's
They don't know how to drive. All right. Well, we hope that that some of those tensions will just come rolling off your
I hope so.
shoulders here in a second. Now.
I hope so.
Tracy's gonna give you a massage right in the neck. All right, jump across the table. Tracey White, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Actually, doing okay. It just, just thinking about your situation.
Yeah, it was just like, oh,
It's like
God.
pretty stressful. And sometimes we just live in uncertain times.
It's a good segue into the message from yesterday.
But speaking of the snow today, Josh, he's trying out this door dashing thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So he went out today and he didn't realize, how icy the pack was. And so he did one delivery.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, yeah. So, and then we're painting the bedroom almost to the end of that before moving on to another bedroom, and we're painting the house inside. Because it's too cold to paint outside. But that's the project going on right now, and then work is just work. It's normal. Nothing special this week. Nothing out of the ordinary.
I mean, you looked like a robot when I came in. You had your VR set on.
That's the cool thing.
Very cool.
One of the
I thought you were going to have it on the table or something. Put it on for a minute.
We've done VR projects, plenty of VR projects, which is a lot of fun. But the VR headsets they're mobile devices, really. But all of our VR projects have been the type where you link to the computer, and the program runs on the computer, so you get the higher end graphics and everything. Well, those things have come a long way, and you can actually get some really nice projects deployed on the device itself, which is what I've been working on the past couple of weeks actually. And,
Nice.
And it's kind of fun to do.
It was cool. It was cool. You're standing here. You had your thing on. You were dodging trains. You were just walking around.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. So, Johnny, how about you? How are things going?
I'm okay. It's all a blur. So it's been like a month or whatever since. It's just a blur, man. I mean, I've been all over the place. I've been to Louisiana and back. I've had, I've spoken at a little church out in the country. Yeah. I mean, I've done all over the place.
I've been everywhere.
I've been everywhere. But anyway, back, school today. Yeah, it was kind of strange. Normally when it's really, really icy out there like that, even here in Colorado, they will often, at least do a delayed start, something like that. But there's no rhyme or reason to it. Nobody has any idea what they're doing. This would have been a perfect day for them to have a late start or something because it was just icy. But by the time I got to the school, the bus was already there early. I'm like, what is happening? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. So we just plowed through today, and it was cold. Now, my wife is sick. On Friday, she was and you may not get this at all, but she was like Brenda Vaccaro from the old tampon commercials back in the 80s. I am Brenda Vaccaro, and I'm selling these. Anyway, it's like an old joke that used to gross her out. She was giving us. So she was doing that imitation even on Friday. I'm Brenda Vaccaro. Oh my goodness. Like she'd been smoking non-stop for like 30 years. But anyway, yeah, that turned into her losing her voice completely, and then a croup type of cough, that kind of stuff, and tightness in the lungs and all of that kind of thing. And then she was feeling terrible. And she felt a little bit better. She thought she might go to school today, yesterday afternoon. But I was just like, no, you need to take take an egg. So anyway, so she did. I'm glad she did. She really needed the rest.
Yeah.
But of course, and Jake, you fully can understand the double duty kind of thing that happens. So I was doing a lot of double duty, even Saturday night. Leo and I, we tag team all kinds of things, right? All the chores of the house.
Partner's gone. When they're out of the picture.
Well, here's the thing: we've got it's one of those deals where every now and then, every family, you might get a little behind, a few days behind on laundry. We rarely with dishes, but this time we had like 2 loads of dishes worth of stuff that had just sort of stacked up from Friday night to Saturday. So I realized it's like, okay, I've got to do all of this before. That's probably why I probably was half out of my mind Sunday morning too. Because I was running around all Saturday night, Sunday morning even. I was doing some of that. But anyway, nothing's right when she's not well. But anyway, hopefully by tomorrow should be good. I'll be good too. Good. So here we are. Yeah. And a fresh new year. Well, what do you guys want to talk about? I mean, there have been a lot of things for us to talk about. We can go back to Christmas. We can go to Christmas Eve. We can go back to Christmas services. We can talk about yesterday.
Wrapping up the last series and start a new one,
Yeah. Spent, was it all of 2023 that we spent in 1st and 2nd Thessalonians?
Yes, pretty much.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yep, and it was and I've never done anything like this, but I kind of liked it. We're not going to do it this year, but we might, some down the line or something. But the idea of an anthology series of series, and I really did kind of like it. I mean, although it probably would have been better to even break it up even more. But yeah, we started in 1 Thessalonians in January of last year, and we ended that whole overarching series, a total of 4 different message series throughout the year. As we wrapped up with the Christmas message on that one, then did something different on New Year's Eve. But the whole year.
I was half expecting yesterday morning to be like, all right, now we're going to start in 1 Corinthians.
Letters to an old church. We could have done that.
I like yesterday's lesson.
Yep.
And it's the one that's fresh in my head.
That's.
I mean, not that the other ones don't stick, but because they do. And I like the relevancy of what the Thessalonian church was going through and what the people were going through, and how that directly applies to the kinds of things we even deal with today.
Yes.
Which, there's nothing in the Bible that's not relevant.
Yeah,
so I guess that's that.
But for clarity, we weren't still in the 1st or 2nd Thessalonians yesterday.
Right, yeah.
We were in Genesis.
We got jumped into Genesis.
And
a little bit of Isaiah. That's right. New series called Uncertainty.
Causing a little bit of management classes flashbacks. But that stuff. Well, I got to thinking about that, and I mentioned it. The VUCA environment. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And in the business world, the training was all about, in the management, the training was about how to deal with all of that stuff, in a good way. but then I got to thinking, how can we make that a biblical, thing and apply it, biblically? And there's a lot of,
Well, I'm sure there's
obviously a lot of ways to do that. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty cool stuff.
when something's true, God, it's something that God is all about, right? If it's true and it's genuine.
I think that the answer to those different, the acronym there is, I think, V for having visibility, or vision. I'm sorry, vision. It helps with the volatility, understanding your vision.
Wow, very interesting.
And I'm trying to think of what the U
Getting
was.
ahead of my game.
I know there's. I'd have to look it up again. Agility was to combat the ambiguity, clarity for to combat complexity. And, what was the U? I don't remember.
Ugly.
Wait, you got to come back.
Gotta
to the
get
ugly.
it ugly and get after it.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, that's.
Well, yeah, no, all those kinds of things are true. In fact, you can, there are shelves of business books that all deal with all of these kinds of things, how to deal with your business in uncertain times. And all of those kinds of things are certainly true. And some of those elements will come into play even in this series, just because of that very reason. They are true and they are kind of biblical ideas.
Right.
But it's not going to be that tactical. What we're doing is we are going to take specific words, which I will not reveal here.
You did that a lot yesterday. You were like,
They're the dark.
I'm not going to talk about these things.
I'm doing whatever I can to get people to come back, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
5
People are dropping like flies around us.
We're going to go through 5 or 6 points. I'm not going to tell
And
you.
everybody gets $300 if you show up. No, just kidding.
Wait, what?
No, I'm only kidding. Anyway, but the other thing is we're taking actual biblical accounts, stories, characters, people from the Bible. I say characters, but I hate to say character because it makes it sound like they're fictional people.
Yeah.
But particular people in the Bible and their what they bring to this whole situation, how that impacts the whole idea of uncertainty and how they were in uncertain times and what they did and how that applies to us. So slightly different angle from just your basic, here's the acrostic. In fact, I originally was taking these words, maybe I'll make this an acrostic. Doesn't work, man. I might throw it out just to see. It's like a bunch of consonants. So try to remember that when you are. Sounds like you're clearing your throat.
Help to memorize this.
Yeah, memorize these consonants. No, it just didn't quite work. So don't worry. I don't want to force that. But yeah, it gives a chance to just sort of take our time through January. Basically, is when we're doing this one. So.
Which is weird because whenever you look at it, by next Sunday we're halfway through January already.
January always does this to me. I don't know how. January flies by, and now we're into the year.
Yeah, I can't wait to get out of this time of the year, where it starts getting warm again. That's where I want to be, right there, a warm place.
It'll happen before you know it.
You just got to make it till March,
July.
right?
Yeah,
Cruise coming
cruise
up.
in March, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
We'll be in a warm climate.
You'll be in a
there.
Wow.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, you said March, and I was thinking, wait, that's the snowiest time of the year.
No,
here.
he's leaving for the snowiest time. Yeah.
Just the first week.
Just the first week.
You have to defrost your plane and get you out of here.
Yeah, right. I did
hope
like
so.
sort of the overall point of the message yesterday being, there is no problem in this universe that God cannot handle.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And it's funny, you start thinking about all the stuff that's going on with, yourself individually, and you're like, man, I can't believe I'm got all this going on. How am I going to handle it? How am I going to, your mind starts going a million miles an hour, and it's like, well, I'll just stop. But those problems with the Lord, pray on them, pause, think about it, understand that, like you said in your message, there is a plan to everything that is happening.
Yeah.
And that brings some certain amount of relief, knowing that it's like, okay, this is whatever is going on, it's not the end. God has a plan for us. This isn't something that he can't help me solve, you know.
Yes.
But how, you know, then it's like, well, how much am I actually putting in his hands?
Right.
You know, makes you sort of question, like, how much do I think I can do all on my own and bare knuckle it all the way through?
Yeah.
When I could be instead getting help.
Yes.
You know.
And I do believe God allows us to experience difficulties and things. Of course, this message wasn't really about, you know, we've talked about when difficult times come and tribulations and dealing with testing and that sort of thing. So this isn't quite that, but it still applies in the same way, right? To keep us from getting overwhelmed. That I think he does allow us to go through certain things so that we will trust him. Right? He's not being mean to us.
Right.
It's like the kid who, if you take your kid for swimming lessons, and the kid just hates, oh, the water just, it's in my nose, right? And they hate it, but the reason that you're having them learn to swim is so that they will be stronger and they can not die.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the time might come when they really must have those skills. And I think that that God does that for us. It's like when you pray, if you say, God, I want to, and we never really even have to pray this. I mean, about asking for patience, right? It's like the old joke, oh, don't pray for patience. Well, what are you talking about? Of course pray for patience. So when you pray for patience, how do you know you have patience?
Yeah.
It's when you're faced with a
Right.
time where you need to have patience.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the thing is, the truth is, those things are going to happen no matter what. And so when we don't just pray, God give me patience, although that's okay to pray. We just know that if we are walking daily, relying on him and casting those issues and problems on his very big, strong shoulders, that we'll begin to display patience. Right? You don't have to ask for some extra thing. It's the fruit of the Spirit. Galatians tells us so. Be more loving. I used to think that with relationship to the fruit of the Spirit, that it was like, well, you have one fruit of the Spirit. I have another. We all get our own fruit.
That patience thing, that's for you.
We're not talking about like spiritual gifts. This is
not a me thing.
fruit of the Spirit. It's plural. These are the kinds of things that grow in your life as you're following. Yeah, you're right. I mean, he is a big God. It was that idea of, you know, it's nice to know through history, right? If you take yourself right now and you flash back even 50, 60 years, or even 100 years or so, or back to, you know, onset of World War II or World War I, or other times of turmoil in the world, and realize, oh yeah, others have dealt with stressful, scary, you know, some people thought it was the end of the world, right? Even then, or thought that Hitler was the Antichrist, and other things like that. So I think it just puts some perspective on our fears and our anxieties and things. And then again, as you say, he's a big God, and he can help us through whatever we have to face, even if it's painful and even if it's difficult.
Yeah. I'd like to quote the great Larry the Cucumber.
Yes,
God is
and I
bigger
did.
than the boogeyman.
God is bigger than the boogeyman.
Yes, that's right.
Bigger than Godzilla or the monsters on TV. All right. Oh wait, we may have just violated a copyright situation. Okay, well,
It was a clip. It was less than a couple of
It was
seconds.
less than a couple
We're good.
and we divided it up between us. So.
Yep. So it's double. Although we can Mickey Mouse all we want now, I guess.
Well, no, that's not true. You can Steamboat Willie all you want,
You can
but
Steamboat,
you can't Mickey Mouse.
Oh, okay.
We just won't monetize this video and it'll be done, right?
Yeah.
I should throw a little Steamboat Willie right here. They've already made a horror movie. It's the follow-up to the Blood and Honey.
It's unbelievable how quick people will take
just waiting.
what do they call it when it's something's like
Copyright.
Intellectual property or
well, no, but when it becomes like free to everybody.
Yeah.
Public domain.
Public domain, yeah. It's amazing how fast people will take something in public domain and turn it into the exact opposite of
So dumb.
yeah.
Well, all right. Well, what else? Was there anything else, even from yesterday's message, or anything else since we've been together? You guys want to talk about?
I kind of, poor segue into something from your message to. In Genesis, you know, we'll have to toil and work the ground and stuff.
Ah,
Why?
It reminds me of what's coming up here
That's right.
in a few months. I was telling Johnny about this yesterday.
January.
First garden drop of the year. But
First podcast in 2024.
no, it's
Jake is on the garden already.
I've been thinking about it. I have all this excitement about it. Speaking of toilet, we're gonna have to be doing that. Now, like sometime in the next few weeks, we start our like hot pepper seeds and stuff. So I was telling Johnny, I'm on the. I was browsing one of the websites I get seeds from, and they're the ones that have all like the funky stuff and the striped tomatoes and the super spicy peppers and all that good stuff. And so I was looking at those and I was like, oh, these would be fun to grow. And like just scrolling through them, but yeah. That's
I got to tell you, I think that we finally began. I mean, so much has just kind of come into focus in relationship to the garden, right? So we started off, just common, all of us were interested in it.
Yeah.
So it was time of fellowship. It was sort of outreach in a way, just so people know. But we've come to realize that it's outreach in a sort of a side way, because just the conversations we have with unchurched people who don't go to church, aren't Christian, seem to relate to the idea of the garden, and they're often surprised.
Yeah.
But last year, when we wrapped it up and we had our big harvest table and stuff, taking those things and making them into gift bags to give to people, that was like what do we think? Why haven't we done this already? Right. So that's gonna be one of the first things I think in the fall. I know we had our garden meeting, so we'll just have it now. Is that
Behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes is that that's something that we want to do early on, to give to our church people, not just for them to have, but if they have it, it's like, use this to make a meal to invite a friend over or invite a neighbor over. And then say, hey, these are vegetables from our church ground. And create gift bags of produce from the garden and just give it to our neighbors and friends and coworkers and tell them it's from our church. It's overflow. It's not a whole lot here, but it's just overflow from our garden. We wanted to give it to you. And it just sparked conversation. And I'm going to get a cucumber and hit you in the head. No, I'm just kidding. Here. Let's get that little bit left. I don't need any more of that. But anyway, that's what I've been thinking about. Just because it was so well received by the people that we gave that to last year. And it was a great barrier breaker. I love it. So that's my thinking anyway.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like
Give it to friends or cook it as a part of a, like we used to. Is hobo, is that a derogatory term now to say hobo? I don't even know what it stands for or what it means. I mean no disrespect for all the hobos who are watching. As you're hopping your train.
Like and subscribe.
And you got your
Oh my goodness.
using your iPad on the freight train as you watch our podcast. Okay, what are we doing? Anyhow, the reason I said that was we used to do a thing with youth ministry years and years and years ago. It was sort of a fellowship party thing. They call it the Harvest Hobo Hootenanny. And anyway, as a part of that, everybody was supposed to bring a can of soup of some kind, but take the labels off. And then we just kind of put them all into one big thing.
That's a dangerous game.
Well, it is, because no matter what you bring, if somebody brings tomato soup, that just overwhelms them all. Well, this is tomato soup with okra or whatever.
It's a bisque.
Anyway, I don't know what I was going with that, except something, to invite your neighbors over. Get vegetables.
What it has, at least for for me, it's the garden was a great point of conversation with a lot of people from my work, because I would bring in a lot of the produce that we would have early on in the season and share it with all of them. And they loved receiving it. They asked me, "Well, where'd this come from? Is this your home garden?" Because I like to have my home garden too. Like, no. This is the church's community garden plot, and that sparks good conversations. My neighbor. They're big into gardening, and she was telling me, she asked us about the church, or asked me about the church and where we meet and everything, and she's like, I just want to get involved in community, and I love that you guys do the garden, and that's so cool. And it's like, well, come join us sometime. either
Keep
come join us
asking.
on a Sunday or keep asking, or just come out to the garden with us when we're weeding one day. I mean,
for
why
sure.
not? Meet some really cool people and have a good conversation, and then the end of the season.
Really cool people, he said.
Hey, he's talking about us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about you guys.
Poor Jay. He doesn't know.
Oh no,
We're not cool.
Not that cool.
I'm just kidding. Keep going, bro.
No, but I was gonna
train.
No, it's and then like you said, giving away all of that at the end of the season last year. Able to feed all the people who were able to help out with that, and just that table. I still have that picture of the table where it's just mounded over with everything we had, and you couldn't even fit all the carrots on it. There was still a whole bin of carrots behind there, and it was like
It was amazing.
that was super cool. So being able to help out community in that way, I think is an awesome opportunity.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun to do. It's a great thing for us to be doing together, and it's awesome that you bring that little bit of extra passion and expertise that you've gained over the years, at least more than us.
Yeah.
But either way, that's a cool thing. So that's coming up, but not yet.
Not yet.
Not quite
No.
yet.
I just need to think about starting the seed soon. That's all I have to think about.
I'm just imagining, I'm just seeing forecasting in my brain snow in May.
Yeah,
So
that'll happen. I'm sure. Yeah.
Always happens at least once in May. Rarely near the end of May, but it has
Doesn't have
happened.
to.
Oh,
It doesn't have to. Oh my goodness. Well, and we won't, even though this is behind the scenes, some things are family matters, but we have some challenges ahead. We also have some strategy things that we're going to be playing out. The great thing about, not the great thing, the crazy thing, I should say, about being a small church, we do a crazy amount of stuff. Speaking of crazy, for a church our size, it is unbelievable what we were able to do, and the people that we've been able to minister to and help over the years. So it's such a privilege, such an honor. But it does remind me that we have to keep reaching people who are a part of our church, or we can't help any of those people, right? And it's a bad testimony too to those that we've made inroads to. So it's going to be very important as we go into this new year, getting people to join us, even if we have to go to them. So we did a little of that in the summer. So we're going to have some opportunities to do some of that kind of let's move around a little bit. We have our home base right now. We have such a ministry base at the school there. It's just, I would not walk away from that at all. I mean, God has just blown open doors for us and all of that. But that makes it easier for us to step out and explore, trying to reach new pockets of people and new things. So as that happens, we'll feed out those plans. Sure is fun though. I mean, I know it can be frustrating as well. It's because people, we reach them and then they're gone, and then we reach them others, or they come back. It just, you never know. But that's just church life. I will tell you guys, I have never been in a church where that has not been the case. We just sort of feel it more as a smaller church.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah.
But that just means we just need to keep reaching people. We don't stop doing that. We never stop loving people and growing. And we'll change a little bit of what we do. We'll see if there are any sacred cows that we've developed that need to be made into burgers. We'll holy hamburgers and move forward, and we'll see. Start some new traditions. Well, all right, guys. Well, what else? How long have we been talking, Tracy?
I don't know. The bad thing about setting this up over here is I got to get up to look at it. There's a few minutes left on it.
No, okay.
But we do have practice that we're going to be. That's kind of
that's true.
To it, so.
All right. So
We talk a
anything
lot
else?
before rolling, the tape.
Oh, that's right. Oh, it was on.
No,
Oh.
no. When we were
Before
just,
you hit record,
before I
right?
hit record.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, what else, guys? Seems like I am forgetting something. I mean, there's been so much. I mean, Christmas Eve was great. It was a fun group around that
Around
that
the
fire.
fire.
I'd still
With
love
the
to
heaters.
expand that. Heaters made a big
Yeah.
difference. I'd love to
That's
see
good.
that expand into a neighborhood event. You know,
Like
where-
as many people show up for that as they do for the Gloom and Good.
Yes,
Or a movie
exactly.
night,
Or a
or-
movie
yeah.
night. That would be fantastic. So I don't know how. I'm just trying to explore ways to figure out how we can get that. Christmas Eve is a different thing. Everybody has different traditions on
Yeah.
Christmas
Yeah,
Eve and
sure.
things. But anyway, I don't know. Every year I go through. Maybe let's just not do it, or let's make it bigger, or whatever. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Could do that too. Set up the lights and all that stuff.
Well, that's
Everybody's
Christmas Eve, though. Oh my
I
God.
know, it's a lot of work.
That's the other thing. I'm always like, we'll be able to enjoy that night. But I don't know if we had 40, 50 people or more, 100 people showing up for Christmas
Yeah.
Eve, even the extra work, we might go home and think that was
Absolutely.
worth it.
Absolutely.
What a great Christmas Eve that was,
Yes.
So anyhow, all right. Well, there's a lot ahead. We'll unveil that in the weeks to come. But you guys have anything else you'd like to share tonight? Any other stories or?
There is one verse that we can't forget.
No, let's see. What would that be?
It is John 3:16.
I almost forgot. No, I'm just kidding. John 3:16. What is that?
For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life.
That's right.
Amen to that. Yeah, that is our motivator. That sinks into your soul tonight. Thank you, Jake.
Absolutely.
For sharing that and remembering that. Well, all right then. If you guys don't have any other things you'd like to share, just top ahead. We got a lot of people sick in our church. Those of you who are watching, we appreciate you praying for us in that. If you were a praying person, and we got crazy times going on, so we appreciate prayer in that as well. All right then. I guess we're gonna go to some final words.
Love you
Well,
guys.
you know what?
Yeah,
your final words.
no.
It's been so long. I don't remember.
You have to. We meet.
I gotta set it up. What is it? We meet. John 3:16. Oh wait, no.
We've done that.
All right, I forgot that part. It's been too long. I'm also getting very old.
We forgot the outline. Okay.
All right, well, before we go to those final words, I will just say we meet somewhere in the world every single week, but we're always online. You can find us on Facebook by searching for Compass Church Colorado, and you can discover more at compassdenver.com. And we'd love to have you as our guest this Sunday. That's what I was supposed to say.
That's right.
There it
Now,
is.
final words.
Yeah.
Love you guys and love everyone out there.
We'll fill in for Bob likewise. And also, this has been great because he is great.
Grace to you and peace. That's all we have for tonight, and we are out.
Woohoo!
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Likewise. What did he say last time?
I'm hitting that.
Likewise and subscribe.
Likewise. Wisely like.